Hey, old pals. As I understand, we're here to do some drifting in our cars, spin some wheels.
Yeah, Obama, I heard you had experience racing in your Yes We Can cars.
Yeah, and I always like trying something new. So Biden, are you ready for our drift?
Absolutely. I even brought my notepad to jot down how I'll beat you guys in this game.
Are you out of your mind already? We're recording a video right now. Why do you need a notepad?
I don't trust all these computers.
Okay, guys, I'm ready to show you how billionaires drift. My car will be as golden as my toilet.
Donald, are you going to play someone else's video, or what? Okay, let's start the race. Let's see who's the best drifter in ROBLOX among us.
Let's first choose which car we'll be driving. Let's see what we have here. Oh, there's a Nissan Silvia, a Civic,
Oh, I'm actually cruising in a Cadillac limousine right now. A cool car.
I know, jerk. I used to ride on it when I was president.
Oh, here's a Ford Mustang. Let's choose that.
Oh, great. Let's go, an American car. American presidents.
Bought it, now I'll do a test drive.
I spun your mom on this Mustang, Obama, when you were still in school.
Shut up, jerk. My mom would never get into a car with a monster like you. Look, guys, this is called style. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Well, of course. I had a drift car in my office with gold-plated wheels. Do you think it ended up there?
Hey, it looks like I ran out of pages. Can someone give me another notepad?
Why did you even bring them here?
Well, I thought maybe we would have an important meeting during the race. Maybe even drift protocols.
This is really my fault. I forgot to convene a cabinet meeting during the drift. Next time for sure, Joe.
And why not have a meeting on drift carts? We'd get through it quickly anyway.
What do you guys think of my drift?
It would be impolite to say what I think, but I'll say it anyway. Your drift is like your healthcare reform. Nice, but no one needs it.
The only thing that's unnecessary is the hair on your head, Donald. Have you ever heard of a barber? And what if instead of healthcare we had a drift reform? The world would be a real rider's paradise.
Obama, that's why you're not the president of the United States anymore? It seriously damages the asphalt.
Donald, I've actually learned a bit about drifting in ROBLOX. Will you be too upset if I burn rubber under your windows tonight?
It's only in ROBLOX. In real life, you'll wrap around the first pole you encounter.
If you do it under my windows, jerk, I'll come down and shoot all your tires. Joe, you talk about drifting, but what about international relations? How do you drift with other leaders?
Easy. Just like real drifting. Step on the gas, turn the wheel, and watch everyone fall behind.
Joe, you talk about it so confidently. Did you by any chance star in Fast and Furious, Vin Diesel? You're bald just like him?
Haha, no.
What about energy, guys? How can we make drifting environmentally friendly?
Are you aiming for another presidential term with this? Why are you thinking about the environment? Maybe we can add solar panels to the drift carts. Always charge up before the race.
How about wind turbines? It's ecological.
Guys, you can't imagine how much I enjoy this ride. Maybe I'll quit politics and become a professional racer.
And I'll be the sponsor. We'll create the Trump Drift Team. I can already see the logo.
Hey, Obama, do you think if I shout, "Give me the right," my wheels will start drifting on their own?
Joe, if that worked, you would have been in the automotive museum a long time ago. I think I know why Biden is so excited about drifting. He thinks it's a new way to deliver medicinal drugs.
Well, you know, not everyone has refined tastes in entertainment. I'm just thinking about the health of the nation.
What if we turn drifting into an official sport? I'm sure I'll leave you all without a chance.
You may want to shut up. They've already done that long before you. What world are you even living in?
Joe, did you ever meet dinosaurs in your youth?
I'm not much older than you, Trump, so don't talk too much about it.
Seriously? You look like you're 500 years old. You talk such nonsense sometimes. All right, finish up faster. I also want to play around with this car. I want to give it a little external makeover, repaint it.
The only thing you can play around with is a bald guy. Okay, sit down, take a ride on this car for a bit.
All right, I think first we need to repaint it. Like all proper Mustangs, it should be a bright color. For example, orange. Done. Now let's change the color of the exhaust and the smoke under the wheels so they swallow it.
Joe, you won't arrest us for drifting on public roads in ROBLOX, right?
No, this is ROBLOX. If you do this on American roads, the police will take care of you.
Donald and I will come to you with white smoke, and his smoke will fill it up. It'll be not the White House, but the Black House.
Then I'll kick you bastards out from there.
Okay, Joe, just don't forget the Corvalol so that when you catch up, You don't stall somewhere.
Joe, if your heart were an engine, what mileage do you think it would have?
I don't know the mileage, but it would definitely be some multi-liter engine like a Dodge. Heavy, I guess, because they go for many kilometers.
Ha 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 ha! Hemi, not heavy. Your engine should have been overhauled a long time ago. If you were a car, you'd be on your last legs by now.
Yeah. At the same time, your wife would definitely want to ride on this car.
Joe, my wife drives new, well-maintained cars. She won't sit in a clunker like you.
Does she have a lover then? Because have you seen your hairstyle? It's like they plucked feathers from a rooster and glued the ugliest ones to your head. So, you can't call yourself a well-maintained car.
But everything is good with me in terms of technical characteristics. I can go for a very long time without refueling, if you know what I mean. And Joe, I'm afraid you can't have such fun anymore.
Guys, I'm sure your stuff there is weak compared to my ride.
So Donald, it looks like your wife chose Obama as her car. He's well maintained, and his engine is not worn out yet. And he looks good.
No, Joe, I have my own owner. If someone else gets behind the wheel, they'll tear out the gearbox, if you know what I mean.
Guys, how do you like my driving skill? Am I handling this Mustang well?
You handle this Mustang like your hair. Perfectly.
Oh, you jerk. Well, no problem. Live to my age, and we'll see what's on your head, if anything.
I'm just kidding, buddy. Let's go, so you don't crash into some pole.
Drift is drift, guys, but it's not a speed competition. We should just race for speed at some point. I have a large car fleet, but not on public roads. On the track.
If Donald and I smoke up the whole city with smoke from under the wheels, you might not even see us leaving.
Yeah, Joe, and don't forget to activate the Corvalol mode in the car, in case you stall during the race. Obama, do you think I can take every turn sideways?
Donald, your extravaganza of smoke and rubber is like your tweets. It seems like there's something there, but there's no sense.
And I think maybe you all should switch to bicycles, because it's more environmentally friendly, and you not only emit exhaust gases, but also burn rubber.
Joe, your butt is also emitting exhaust gases right now, and we're keeping quiet about it.
Yes, ride on your bike and swallow the dust from under our wheels. By the way, if I became president again, drift would become a national sport instead of golf.
So, Obama, who in our cabinet will be in charge of drift economics? Maybe we'll create a ministry of drift?
Yes, and we'll drift taxes into the budget. Each skid mark will be a tax deduction.
Obama, have you ever thought that drifting is like predicting your decisions in a crisis?
Well, if drifting were politics, then maybe the world would be a real racetrack.
And if drifting were cooking, what dish would it be?
Something like flambéed drift the American way, with a burning tire on top.
I think it would be drift sushi, refined and elegant.
But only if we used your political wit instead of wasabi, Obama.
What do both of you think about drifting in old age? I'm not a pensioner yet.
Joe, you're a pensioner worse than both of us. I'm shocked how you even got here without any problems.
I think drifting in old age is a great way to keep your mind sharp and shed a few years from your face.
Yeah, and it's also a great way to get closer to the grave.
Well, you're an old bore, Joe, but in old age we'll get together to ride and reminisce about how we sped along the roads of Roblox.
Well, you're already in your old age. All right, Joe, sit down and old fart man, show us what you can do behind the wheel.
Donald, in my youth, I did all sorts of things with cars. Have you seen my car collection? Any girl will be mine when she sees it.
What girl? You can barely get out of bed. And here are the girls. Joe, why did you decide to play Roblox? Are you chasing after the youth, or has drifting become your secret to longevity?
Just watch my skills behind the wheel.
Old man, how are your knees after all these drifts? Haven't you forgotten that you're not 20 anymore?
Shut up, you jerk, and swallow the smoke from under my wheels.
Old man seems to have gone crazy. It's just a computer game. Are you sure your glasses aren't fogged up from the smoke?
Joe, the maximum we can swallow now is the fart from you that your butt can't handle anymore.
Hey guys, did you notice how stylishly I handle this car? I'll become not only the best politician, but also a drifter.
Joe, you're like fine wine, only getting better with age.
Fine wine smells pleasant, but I think you smell like old age and fart.
Don't think, idiot. Better ask your mom how I smell. She said the last time it was quite pleasant.
But Joe, are you sure your heart can handle all these turns? We don't want you to break down halfway.
Ha ha ha, how funny. Let's not discuss my joints and heart. I'm still in good shape.
You probably think that drifting is like recovering from elections. Sometimes you need to make a circle and try again.
Maybe we'll create our own drift league? League of Old Racers. I can offer you a contract for a race in a white robe.
Maybe I'm old, but I drive better than both of you. Guys, let's set a new trend. Drift for all and all for drift. How about that slogan?
Joe, you're definitely not an advertising consultant, but if anything, we can always consult with Trump. He has experience in promoting things.
Yes, I could even be the face of this campaign. Drift will make America slippery and fast.
But not too slippery, right? We don't want to overdo it, like with taxes.
Joe, your analogies are always like from another dimension.
I would offer my services as a consultant. Trump and Drift, a guarantee of quality.
Well, Donald, you always knew how to sell your brand. Maybe I'll hire you as an advertising agent.
What if we organize a Leaders Drift meetup? Politics aside, drift forward. Joe, are you sure your joints can handle pressing the keys? Maybe it would be better for you if we raced on a map for disabled people.
Yes, Joe, you probably confused the racetrack with tram tracks, but you're forgiven. You still remember the times when bicycles were the main transport.
Jerks. So what if I reminisce about the good old times? Anyway, Obama, when you were still using diapers, I was already driving cars with girls, on whom you later spent your napkins.
Maybe, Joe, you want to suggest a new sport. Retro drift. Cars from before the 80s, speed, like it used to be.
Hold on, I need to check if you can at least remember how you got here. Or do you think it's your next campaign rally?
Oh, Donald, even during our Roblox game, you managed to make a political joke. But in vain, I haven't lost my sense of humor yet. Guys, let's be serious. I'm not just here to entertain you. I want to relive my youth and win this race.
Joe, are you sure you didn't confuse drift with a lunch meeting? It seems like you got lost on the track a couple of times.
Maybe we'll organize a drift conference so that you feel at home with plenty of turns and unpredictable events.
Guys, you have good spirit, but I think I can surprise you all with my drifting talents.
Well, Joe, that's good. Show us what you've got. Maybe we'll really be surprised. But if there were people around, I would advise everyone to stay away from the track.
Guys, I caught some nostalgia from this game. I'm reminiscing about my first car. Those were the days.
Exactly, you probably drifted even on horses back then. Now only cars without conservative prejudices.
Or perhaps you drifted on that drift train you talked about in your stories.
Maybe so, guys. But I see you're laughing as if you're not over 70. Won't you disappoint?
Joe, we're like wine, getting better with age.
Guys, maybe I'll create my own brand of racing jokes. I got plenty to share.
I'm sure your jokes won't reach the finish line just like your proposals in Congress.
Guys, let's move on to lighter topics. What do you think? Which women prefer drifting in a car?
Probably those who want to get away from you as quickly as possible.
No, guys, seriously. I'm sure many women would appreciate my driving style.
What about your wife, Joe? Has she at least allowed you to go somewhere without her?
Or will you tell her you're going to the pharmacy for some pills?
Well, my Jill has to endure a lot. But when it comes to driving, she trusts me. She says I'm the best old man on the track.
Oh, you old charmer, it seems you still have some spark in you.
Guys, how much do you think a good drift car costs? Maybe I'll get something for myself, as my car collection only has racing and regular cars.
I suggest you build your own drift car. You always talk about construction, don't you?
Maybe I'll create drift infrastructure and travel around the country on it. What do you think?
Well, what a foolish old man. Do you really think drift infrastructure, as you said, is what we all need?
What about finances, Joe? Are you ready to take the next step in your budget for drift infrastructure?
Donald, I'm always ready to take the next step if you share your tax returns. Maybe we'll find a couple of billion for drift infrastructure.
Joe, you're like a financial genius. Maybe you'll figure out our budgets, not just drifting.
Joe, I have a proposal. Drift real estate. Let's build drifting cities. I'm sure it will be the next trend.
Perfect, guys. But only if you consider the budget for drift infrastructure. Everything for the prosperity of our new world.
Joe, if you agree with any nonsense, will you? We're just joking around.
Okay.
Okay, we need to finish this before Joe has a heart attack.
Jerk, you recently asked me about which heart pills to buy. And now you're saying things about me.
Quiet, guys. Just don't fight over a place in line at the pharmacy.